good to go?
Squad?
Good to go.
How are you fixed team-wise, first of all?
Hopefully in better shape than what we were last week. Obviously we had the game on Sunday. We mixed, I think we changed 3 from the starting 11 from Thursday, so everybody seems to come out of the game okay from Sunday. We left Ewan East, Ben Hall, Jamie Mulgrew, who all should be fit and available for tomorrow.
You spoke a bit after the first leg in terms of how you might approach it. Is it just keeping the game alive before eventually you have to kind of throw a bit of caution to the wind?
You don't want to be going into the game on a negative sort of, that was me. I think it was 20 minutes after the game last week where, you're asked, of course, you want to be still in the game at important stages tomorrow night. So I'm not going to say to the players, listen, don't be having a shot on target until we're ready to build into it. We should be ready to go. It would be nice to get an early goal, and I think I did stress last week, and I will stress going into the game tomorrow. The most important thing for us is tomorrow night is to get the first goal. If we do, where we didn't manage to get it in the Champions League tie against Shelbourne, we can go and put a wee bit more pressure on them. So that's paramount tomorrow night that we get the first goal. And
I know you would obviously have your issues with the decision in Windsor Park, but how important is discipline just in terms of keeping 11 people on the pitch?
I think it's crucial in any game, probably more so in European games, against the level of the opposition that Shells are. We not only did we had to embrace the 70 odd minutes which the players did, down to 10 men. We're also missing Fitzy this week, so he's a key player. He's been a key component the way we want to play. But again, what it does do is open up the opportunity for somebody else to step in, go and perform, and potentially be a hero tomorrow night.
And given how you did with 11 in the game up here, I mean, you must feel that you can cause them problems and ask questions of them.
Absolutely. Again, I full belief, full faith in the squad of players that we have, the attacking options that we have, and as you said, as I said last week, if it gets to a stage after 60-70 minutes where we have to empty the bench and have a right go for it, we'll certainly do that. So we're hoping for a good performance first and foremost. I believe the squad are ready to go tomorrow, and there was a lot of question marks around the game on Sunday about playing Cliftonville and then having to regroup and go again, but I felt at the time the players are battle ready. They were ready for the game on Sunday, and they'll be ready again for the big game against Shells tomorrow night.
David, in terms of getting the first goal, you look at that first half against Vikinger, you'd be happy with that? Different level of opposition, of course, but would you be happy with that first half performance certainly tomorrow night? I
think you'd be happy with performance aside tomorrow night. I can sit here and say as a manager, performance should equal result at times. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes your level of performance. I thought our level of performance at Tulka last week was very good, and we ended up coming on the back of a worse result than me. Probably had a lesser performance in the first time we were down there. But I think if you were asking me to sacrifice result over performance tomorrow night and the importance of the game, I think they would sacrifice performance and certainly take a result. But if we can go in at half time with some sort of lead, I think this place, and I did describe this place would be electric. The roof would come off this place, the expectation levels would rise if we get the first goal tomorrow night, and that's the players believe they can do that. We spoke briefly 90 seconds about the Cliftonville game on Sunday, and then straight away we asked the players, do we still believe that we can do this on Thursday night? And it was a resounding yes. There's confidence in there. We understand it's still going to be a tough task, and it's more of a task than what it was the first time we played them, but we still firmly believe there's enough goals, opportunities that we can create tomorrow night.
Do you feel you have improved from the first time you played Shelbourne?
Listen, it's not for me to decide what people outside think. I firmly believe inside, and I think the players more importantly believe that when you come into the game, the importance of the Champions League game that we played, financially it was discussed about how important it was. We had 4 or 5 weeks in preparation for that. We had no games played under our belt. And we were, in terms of game readiness, match sharpness, we were a little bit short, but I firmly believe that the players have come on a little journey over the last 7-8 weeks. They feel in a good place, and they feel that the opportunity is still there, albeit it's still going to be a stiff task.
You've had some big games in this similar position before to qualify for group stages European competition. Is this the biggest since you've been here?
It probably is, because it's the next. And I always say at Linfield, when we lost the game against Shelbourne last week, we have a mentality and around the club, certainly driven by myself and the rest of the staff, that when you lose a game, your next game becomes crucial, it becomes vital that you don't lose it again. And we've made a good job of that. We've made a good fist of that over the last number of years. We pride ourselves, I certainly pride myself, and the players know this, that it's a tough mentality or nothing here at Linfield. Good players sometimes don't survive. Strong-minded, strong-willed people survive. And I think that's why when I look at the dressing room at the minute, it pleases me what we have in and around the dressing room with the experienced players that we have, some of the younger players, some of the new players coming in, that they're still in and around an environment and in a group who are still determined, hungry to be successful.
Just lastly, how important are a strong set of officials tomorrow night after certain incidents in the first leg?
There was one or two elements of the first game that I felt got away from us. And again, when you look at it, I as a football fanatic, I could see the rationale behind some of the decisions. I was disappointed in some of them. Even going back to the decision that Sam looked as if he was going to head the ball in, it looked as if Paddy Barrett, whether we like it or not, for me it was a deliberate act to stop a goal. So if that's not a deliberate act to stop a goal and a goal scoring opportunity, there was a potential red card there. But we missed the penalty after, which was disappointing. But again, the players stuck at it. The game could have swung a little bit on penalty decisions, certainly our one. Because we were 2-0 down, we would have responded. We got the goal back from Kieran. It's like Tolka was on edge, but it was starting to feel that way. And if we had got it back to 2, then it was a different story. But we have an opportunity tomorrow night. We're still well in the tie. And we look forward to that.
It's kind of a similar goal for both clubs in terms of a chance to make a special bit of history for clubs. Is that something that players, you talk to them about that, and they're very aware of that anyway?
I think the players are aware of it. I brought Chris down today because Chris is more intellect than most of the dressing room put together. So, we're certainly well aware of the situation that we're in. I don't need to sit down every day and explain the importance of beating Cliftonville on Sunday. That's our bread and butter. I did say that on Sunday. That's our domestic. This is our go-to. The European ride that we're on, journey that we're on at the minute, it's brilliant that we're having it. But the players know where we are. They know the importance of the tie. They know the importance of their individual qualities that they can bring, hopefully, to the game tomorrow night. So the players are excited. I'm excited. We look forward to a big crowd. I think Shells have near enough sold their full allocation again. We look forward to hopefully getting more fans through the door, and the more fans for us, hopefully they can create an electric atmosphere. They can create, and then it's down to myself and the players to go and hopefully deliver a performance that gets them excited and gets them excited early.
Players, they only get limited opportunities. I was sure, I guess, that the last playoff, could be wrong, it's maybe three years ago, a lot of players probably moved on from that squad. So it's really about seizing the opportunity if you can. You never know when the next door is open for you.
Something that I say at Linfield is you never know when your last game's going to be, and I include myself in that. I'm the leader, I'm the manager on a game, but I certainly don't, and we don't as a group of players take anything for granted. We work hard for all the success and some of the success that we've had over the years. We graft harder than most, but the opportunity to play in a game of this magnitude tomorrow night is huge for the players, and I'm sure they're fully aware of in a situation coming into it that they're going to need to be probably at our best tomorrow night. And if we are at our best, then tomorrow night we'll see where we are after the 90 minutes or 120, which it might take tomorrow night.
I mean, whatever happens between the games between the two sides seems to be very fine margins, doesn't it? So you really went toe to toe with them, so there hasn't been a lot in the game. So despite us doing the whole narrative, the All Ireland stuff and everything, you've really sort of like, whatever happens, you can reflect on how close the games are playing.
Yeah, but
despite being out of season as well.
I don't want to be, and I would never describe myself as being a heroic loser or a gallant loser. I hate the phrase. So one thing that we don't want to be tomorrow night is a gallant loser, because everybody respects that, and they respect sometimes maybe my honesty after the game about losing the game, but I don't want to be described as a gallant loser. So it's an opportunity for us as a club tomorrow night to go and maybe move that one step further.
And the club put out a good statement yesterday with the fans, which is important as well, because of the partial stadium closure, so that they go to play in the right way, of course.
Yeah, again, my message to the fan is, as always, come, sing, make as much racket noise as you can, but make sure it's done in the correct way. I did like the terminology the club used at our great club, which it is. I describe myself as privileged in the position that I'm in, so don't be letting us down, don't be letting the club down. We'll try and do our utmost on the pitch to create a level of performance atmosphere, and it's important then that the supporters who do come, and we have an unbelievable fan base home and away, who come and support this football club, and it's important for our own fans. I won't even get into it's not mine to talk about Shelbourne's behaviour, etc., and whatever else, but we urge this football club, we've talked about this for a while, to make sure that they do it in the correct manner, and we'll try and do it in the correct manner on the pitch.
Can I just ask, do you have any issue with Shelbourne's on-pitch celebrations up here after the final whistle?
No. They progressed through the first round of the Champions League. Would we have done the same if we had won down in Dublin? Who knows? But absolutely no issues. Teams celebrate. Now, sometimes we do have an issue in our own domestic league, where a team maybe haven't beaten you for about 4.5 years, and then they beat you, and then you go in and the big boxes on and they're banging your doors and whatever else. I do have an issue about that, because that may be a once in a lifetime opportunity for somebody to go and beat you. But in general, Shelbourne celebrated and there are absolutely no issues. But as I said, I do sometimes domestically, when a team maybe beats you here and then all of a sudden it becomes the be all and end all, and then I check their next 3 or 4 results and they haven't won a game since. So I do have an issue with that.
Chris, how's it been amongst the players? I'm sure you're all relishing this game.
Yeah, we're all itching to go. As soon as the final whistle came last week, the boys were itching to even go then. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
You've played in some big games already for the club. Where does this rank in terms of?
It's hard to say. I probably relay what the gaffer said. The next game's the biggest one. So yeah, I think that's the mood in the camp as well. We're all itching.
You're expecting a big atmosphere, but I suppose as players, you have to tidy your heads as well. Like, you know.
Yeah, but we'll certainly use that atmosphere to our advantage. We're looking for a big crowd, and we're looking for a big performance.
You just on the fans, obviously you want to bring them with you, and at the start of the game, what the key for you something?
Yeah. I would imagine they'll be in pretty early tomorrow night, trying to create that atmosphere, trying to create that sort of electricity in around the ground. So, yeah, as I stated, and the club have always stated, we have an incredible fan base, hugely supportive. Of course, sometimes can be highly critical, and sometimes a small minority, and it is a small minority, have let us down in previous seasons. So we urge them to come, do what you need to be doing, get behind the team first and foremost, get together, create the atmosphere, and when we do that, especially in a European night here, I thought the atmosphere in the first game against Shells here was brilliant. Can we improve on that tomorrow? I think we can. So urge them, get behind the team.
And nice that you need match winners, and Kieran Hufford has certainly stepped up to the plate in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he has, and again, Kieran's still learning, he's still developing his all-round game. But one thing that he has proven over the the last number of weeks in the European games, and we've scored 4 goals in the league, and I think he scored all 4. So he's proven that he's capable of scoring in our own bread and butter in our own domestic league. He's scored some big goals in Europe for us, and long may it continue as an opportunity for Kieran and whoever the second centre forward is that we play tomorrow night, an opportunity for them to go and create the partnership tomorrow night, create the opportunities tomorrow night together, and hopefully go and create goal scoring opportunities, and then when they come, hopefully take them.
Chris, from your point of view, Linfield have 2 top class goalkeepers, and over the last 18 months there have been times when you've been number 1, David's been number 1. The experience of the second half of last season and having that competitive battle, if you like, for only 1 shirt, has it made you a better keeper, you think, going into this campaign, or what was the message from David ahead of that first leg against Shelbourne when you got the nod?
I suppose I appreciate having the shirt more now that I've lost it and gained it back. There's no number 1 here, you know. Bad performances, you get left out. There's no friends in football. So you can't rest on your laurels here. It's very, very competitive, and that's the way it should be.
And when you talk about that appreciation, how difficult was it whenever Linfield were lifting the league last year, and you maybe weren't starting week in, week out like you have done for the majority of your time here at the club?
Yeah, it was difficult, but I'll just reiterate what I just said. It's made me want the shirt more and more, and yeah, appreciate it more when I've got it, and want to hold on to it for as long as I can.
When you look at your role now within the dressing room and the age profile of the squad, David's right talking about the opportunity of tomorrow night, the potential to make history. Those senior players, you know, yourself, Jamie, Kai, Chris, and 3 or 4 others, how important are they on an occasion like this when there's so much on the line, and it's a massive game?
I think the senior boys, when the younger ones look around, they can see boys who they can trust, and they know who will back them up throughout the 90. So yeah, it's good to have a good mixture of the experienced boys with the youth, and we'll certainly look to utilise both.
And just one last one, how much confidence do you take when you look at the 3 games so far, at the opportunities that you've created at the other end of the pitch, both away at Talca and also here at Windsor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first tie, I suppose we didn't quite know where we were as a team. It was very difficult going in your first sort of competitive pre-season game. But the first leg last week, we looked good, we looked strong, we looked like we know what we were doing. We were fitter, stronger, and just to have that disappointment on 20 minutes, the number of setbacks we had last week, and the fight we had to keep coming back every time something happened was credit to the boys in there, and hopefully we'll show a bit more of that mettle come tomorrow.
Okay, folks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just ask Dale, what was your thinking behind these Coleraine games on this Sunday? What was it?
I only found out about the Coleraine game being off. Yeah, listen, we first and foremost we played the 2 league games in between ties. We've not asked for or requested any other games off that we've had any doing with. Ballymena called the game off because of the Sunday rule that they have. The Carrick game was postponed on the Tuesday night because we were playing 48 hours later against Shelbourne. But it just coming off the back of the game, listen, it was an opportunity to potentially rest a few limbs. So thankfully the league and Coleraine have been understanding in the situation, and we'll play the game tomorrow night. We'll fully focus in on when we do play Coleraine again. With no fear of playing Coleraine or anybody. It just happened to be we've been on the go for 7-8 weeks. We haven't requested any games off. I know there was leeway given to Lauren last year, and rightly so. When clubs are in Europe, there's got to be an understanding at some stage that there's going to be some sort of come down, be it Cloud9 on Thursday or basically potentially ground zero if you don't go through. And it's important that you regroup, refresh, and move on quickly. We will, but no, as I said, the game's off on Sunday, and we look forward to playing Korean whenever they decide to push for that.
There's always the chance actually this one could go to extra time in the penalties. I'm sure you're going to sub yourself on and take a penalty if you get it. If you get a penalty.
No, again, even though we've missed a few penalties, no, but I may look at Chris Johns has got a very strong left foot. Discussed it with the staff to sort of say if we do get a penalty in normal play, potentially tomorrow night, we may send Chris forward to take it, because I watch Chris, and Chris is, I need to say, we a lot of players individually practice penalties. Sometimes Chris practices penalties and there is no goalkeeper in, but he still practices. And he's technically very good. He hits it with pace, he hits it with power. So who knows what could happen tomorrow night.